So what we're talking about tonight is, financial planning. This is financial planning life. It's about protecting what you do have in very simple forms. Moving to creating your wealth, preserving your wealth so you move into retirement somewhat comfortably. And then at the end, how do you distribute that wealth? And a lot of what this is about is being covered today, especially Nat's piece at the end on estate planning, because and there's a real element of a theme of tax, and you'll see, because it's important that we understand tax legislation so you can take advantage out of what's there for you to do so. So what I'm talking about the mortgage piece tonight is not how to earn more money or how to spend less. I'm just talking about getting your mortgage more efficient. Probably 98% of people don't have an efficient mortgage structure, and when I sit down, it's usually the same things over and over again. And I guess it's just standard. All of us in any industry, I guess we all don't really understand. We only understand what we do perfectly, and in other industries we don't. So it's great that you come here to learn about what I do for a living, just like I engage specialists all the time for what you'll do for a living. So moving on, won't get stuck on that. I'm going to start on the time value of money, and this will go somewhere. You probably all have some concept that $100 in the future is not the same as $100 today. Now, normally when we talk about the time value of money, we're referring to just inflation. But really, I want you to think of opportunity cost. If you have a mortgage paying 5.2% per annum, and there's $100 that's ripped out of your home loan, that costs you $5.20 every year. That's your opportunity cost. If you have a $20,000 credit card paying 22% per annum, the opportunity cost of not having $100 in your pocket for 1 year is $22. That's what opportunity cost is, and this will go somewhere. All right, this is a council rates notice for the place down the road. For a couple of years in a row, I paid $2,266 on July the 1st and got it out of my way, instead of breaking it up into 4 instalments. So my sick little mind, maybe it's too many years working in a cubicle in too many banks, but I thought, what does that cost me by parting with my money too early? So I did a calculation and redid it last week to show you. What I've done is they're the 4 future value payments I had to make every quarter, and they're the months in the future. So I've discounted the future value down to a present value for those 4 payments, and it shows that by parting with my money too early, it cost me $62. So where am I getting to? I'm getting to an offset account. And if you read my articles, you'd know that I can't write an article without sneaking the word offset in there, because so many people don't understand it. It's just so powerful. What an offset account, this is what you'll see in a 20-second commercial on television, that using an offset account will save you $100,000. But what does that really mean? So while I've got you locked up in a room, we're going to actually go through it. So here's a $200,000 loan against your home, and there's an offset account with $10,000 in it. Now that offset account should be the hub of your financial life. You shouldn't have any other credit cards. You shouldn't have a savings account that has $3,000 lazily sitting in it. You should have all your money go straight into this account. Your salary goes in, if you have coins. If you have a child with a little money box, smash it and put the money in your offset account. Because $100 sitting in a money box costs you $10.40 every year. So they'll get over the money box, and we've got some more money boxes to give them if they don't get over it. Out of here comes your FPOS, your credit card, all attached to your offset account. So the minute you get paid a dividend, however you get it, it starts working against the interest you pay on your home loan straight away. So how does it work? Well, it's daily. Interest on an offset account, or any interest in banks, is calculated daily and charged monthly. So on an offset account, the interest rate is not 5.2% per annum, it's 0.0142 per day. In this example, it's $27.07 a day that this is charged on $190,000, which is what you effectively owe. Now let's say $6,000 hits your account, so it's a salary. The next day, tomorrow, how much interest do you pay? Well, it's not $27.07, it's $26.21. And that's because you've just increased your offset account, decreased your effective loan balance, and you save 86 cents for the privilege of doing that. Now I ask one example, how about if I went and bought a television worth $6,000? How much extra interest would I pay tomorrow? And the answer is probably around 86%. That television looks like it's worth more than $6,000, but that was a quick download. If I bought it on my credit card, the $6,000 doesn't come out of my account for 55 days. So what does that save me? 5.2% per annum times 55 days as a percentage of the year is $47. So I'm $47 wealthier just because I use my credit card. Also, if I drop the television in the car park, it's still under warranty, and you know, I go to the Gold Coast every year and I haven't paid for an aeroplane flight in a long time. So there you go. Very important that you have it all set up right so you don't have to manually transfer money into a credit card. I see a lot of people do that. I've never done it, but you have to transfer money from your savings account to your credit card every month. It should happen automatically. You just got to tick a little box when you said no. All right, so I'm just going to move very quickly, moving on to there's two kinds of loans. The banks confuse it with 5 or 6. There's really two kinds. You either have a packaged loan or a basic loan. And a lot of people, I don't want to pay a $395 fee, so I go the basic. But look, the main difference is that you get a whole lot for the packaged loan. It's whether it's the break-free package at ANZ or the choice package at NAB or the wealth package at CBA or Westpac Premier Advantage. Paying $375 or $395 a year gives you that offset account, which saves you so much money. It gives you a free credit card, that might save you $90 a year. It gives you, the offset account means you don't have to have a savings account and pay for that as well. So generally, it helps to have a packaged loan. Here's the Commonwealth Bank example. So they have this, which is the wealth package, and then a basic package called the fee-free loan. Now the comparison rates are something I'm going to get to later. I'd like you to ignore comparison rates. I think they're just confusing, and while the government's invented them to help you, they haven't. They've just hindered your ability to have a closer look. So with the package loan, of course, you get a discount. You get a 0.8 discount published. If you go through a broker or you work at the Commonwealth Bank, you know that you don't get 0.8, you get probably 1% or more. So let's have a look at what the 375 annual fee is as a percentage of the interest rate. So the interest rate with a 0.85% discount is 5.43. So it's still cheaper. So my point is you have to factor in the extra interest rate discount. And whatever it says on the web, don't believe, we can access better discounts than what they advertise to the general public. Okay. Now they don't suit everybody. I've just shown the best, what I think is the best basic product on the market. This is an AMP loan. This rate's fascinating. That's about the equivalent to a 1% discount at one of the big banks. And you don't have to borrow over, I think, $200,000 or $300,000 to qualify for that. So no, an offset account or a package loan doesn't suit everybody. There are some disadvantages, and that's something you'd go through if you ever applied for a loan. I'm going to tell you a story about these couple who got married. All right, this is going to explain something else about an offset account. Okay, first of all, they weren't sure what to get, an interest-only loan or a principal and interest loan. Again, very, very particular. It depends on what you're trying to do, which one's more appropriate for you. For investment loans, generally interest-only is a better option. But I've taken, I'm sorry, I didn't have time to take a street sign in Sydney, that's a Californian sign. But 2-hour parking, 30-minute parking. If you run into Coles for 25 minutes and you've got those two spots to choose from, where do you park? Some of you might be very kind and say just a 30-minute parking, but the point is, if you park here, it's your option how long you stay. With interest only, you are not compelled to just pay interest only payments on your loan. If it's a variable rate loan, you can pay it off in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, or stick to what the repayments would be over 30 years, but you're not compelled to. A lot of people don't really understand that. They say, well, if you have an interest-only loan, it never goes away. Well, no, it still does. I've had many interest-only loans that don't exist. I didn't have them to, I didn't take them to carry forever. I took them to keep everything structured flexibly so I can decide when I move into one house or out of another house. We'll learn a little bit now. But it's about keeping things flexible. Fixed or variable? The bottom line is I'm not going to give some little my opinion on the economy because that really doesn't matter. When you take a fixed rate, it's really a reflection of the whole money market. So for you to pick better than what's on the market means, you know, you can go and make $1 billion tomorrow being a bond trader. It's impossible to pick. What I will say is this: the negatives of fixing a rate is it's very inflexible. Often you can repay the balance of a loan by $10,000, but not anymore. So you couldn't sell or refinance the property in 3 years. The benefits are what I call the pillow test. If you have an investment property and it's returning 5.5% and you can lock in your interest rate at 5.5%, that might just give you peace of mind. You might just say, for 5 years, I don't have to think about that. Well, that's a great reason, and that's what it's there for. And one thing I ask people is, are you concerned about interest rates? If interest rates rose by 2%, would your life change? And some people are like, no, well, you don't need to fix. Over time, there's been studies to show that fixing doesn't work over time. And that's because the bank always takes a clip. It's like a roulette wheel. If you go black 100 times in a row, eventually it's not going to be efficient. But having said that, it's all about this. And gee, when the rates are as low as they are now, if people told me what would I do, yeah, I think it's a time to fix at least a portion of a loan. Absolutely. Biggest thing, if you're going to fix, if you have a $400,000 loan, don't fix 400 of it because then you can't attach an offset account to it. So fix 350 and leave 50 variable, and against that $50,000 split is where you'd attach your offset account and get all the UBUT benefits of having that. Okay, so this is where Tony and Julia bought their home and have this loan. The reason it's red is because it's a bad loan. It's not tax deductible. They worked very hard over a number of years and actually paid down their loan to $200,000. Very good. However, they haven't had an offset account. Because they've had slosh accounts, they've accidentally left a little bit owing on the credit card, they've paid $5 a month on 2 savings accounts. They didn't get the right interest rate because they didn't negotiate with a package loan. That's cost them some money. Let's, in this example, about $27,000. But we're about to see that it's actually cost them more. They buy the house across the road. They fall in love with the bigger house and get a big loan against the house. They borrowed the whole $1 million plus the stamp duty. That's $1,050,000. This loan has turned green because that's tax deductible now, but look how small it is. You can see that they've done something wrong. They're paying for this red loan. I'll go back. They're paying for this loan with their after-tax dollars. So they're going to give 37% to the government. Then they've got to find enough to service $1,045,000. So they're on a 37% tax bracket. That's their... now look, I've done a little example that Julia stops work. Now they bought this in joint tenants. A lot of people buy things in joint tenants. I said to Rod Ross, local property accountant, how many of your clients buy things 99%, 1%? He said, oh, most of them. And I said, well, yeah, because that's smart. But how many people know that? Not many. Like, you could say to another accountant and he'd say, well, none of them. So it's just a funny thing. If they had a feeling this might ever become an investment property, why not buy it 99% Tony, 1% Julia, just so that there's tax benefits there in case Julia wanted to leave work, so they planned on her having a family, something like that, which is a bad example for Tony and Julia, but... so the tax benefits would not exactly halve, but would come significantly down if Julia left the workforce. So, their accountant's not happy about the way they've set it up. And they came and saw a mortgage advisor. Now let's see what they could have done. They could have paid down their loan to $200 by putting their money in an offset account instead. Knowing that this might become an investment property, let's use the offset account and put $400,000 in there. They still only owe $200,000 on that. That's what they pay interest on, the daily balance of that $200,000 outstanding. Then they buy the investment property across the road. And they take their money off offset account and bring it over here. They haven't redrawn from their loan, they've just taken their money off offset. They've moved their savings account from one offset account over here to help them with the purchase.